everybody, we are back here at the Slaughter Pen Farm at Fredericksburg with Rich Condon from Civil War Pittsburgh. If you do not yet follow Civil War Pittsburgh on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, you need to do that right away because Rich is doing some incredible stuff with Civil War Pittsburgh. Go follow that at Civil War Pittsburgh / at Civil War PGH, which we were just working on. But Rich is here at Slaughter Pen Farm to discuss the experience of the 114th Pennsylvania Colossus Zouaves here at on this property during the Battle of Fredericksburg in December of 1862. So Rich, tell me a little bit about this regiment and their experience.
Well, first, thank you, Jake. We're going to talk about the 114th Pennsylvania. Now, they don't have a extreme connection to Pittsburgh's role here at the Battle of Fredericksburg, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The 114th Pennsylvania primarily is recruited from the Philadelphia area, so nearly entirely, the entire regiment is from eastern Pennsylvania. 114th Pennsylvania is going to be spawned out of one singular company that's going to be raised in August of 1861 by Charles Collis. Charles Collis is an Irish immigrant. He comes over to the United States prior to the war, and at the start of the war, shortly after the start of the war, he's going to raise this company that he's going to dub the Zouaves d'Afrique. Now, the Zouaves d'Afrique, if you're not familiar, take their uniform from a North African / French influence. Google it; it's really cool. They have really cool uniforms.
Yeah, what are those?
So the 114th Pennsylvania in particular has red baggy pantaloons. They're going to have a light blue sash that goes around the waist, and they also have these little short jackets. If you ever get a chance to come down here to Fredericksburg Battlefield and go to the visitor center, they actually have an original Colossus Zouave uniform on display. If you don't Google it. Anyway, they also have little fezzes as well. Definitely draws a lot of fire on the battlefield, which is why as the war starts to draw on, there are some units that started out as Zouave regiments that start to leave their Zouave uniforms off to the side. But the Zouaves d'Afrique are going to see some action early on in the war as a singular company, about a little more than 100 men. They're going to be attached to a couple of different units. For example, at the Battle of Antietam, or throughout the 1862 Maryland campaign, they're going to be attached to the 2nd Massachusetts Infantry. But these guys are also going to see a lot of action in the Shenandoah Valley in the summer of 1862 as well. So there are some veterans by the time they arrive here at the battlefield of Fredericksburg. In August of 1862, the Zouaves d'Afrique have made a name for themselves. So Collis is going to go back to Philadelphia, and he's given permission to raise an entire regiment of these Zouaves. So the Zouaves d'Afrique is going to be absorbed into the 114th and made Company A of the 114th Pennsylvania Infantry. And Fredericksburg really is going to be their first action, is the 114th Pennsylvania. The 114th is going to be part of David Bell Birney's division, part of the 3rd Corps. The 114th Pennsylvania, they've been on these long, hard marches leading up to Fredericksburg. As I mentioned, these guys have kind of short jackets. They aren't really meant to be worn in the winter time. So they're kind of ill-equipped by the time they get here to Fredericksburg as well.
Weather in North Africa.
Weather in North Africa is a little bit different from weather in Northern Virginia. So anyway, the 114th Pennsylvania has been doing these long, hard marches through November and early December of 1862. On December 13th, 1862, here at the slaughter pen, what would become known as a slaughter pen, is they're going to see quite a bit of action. Like I said, it's the first action, their baptism of fire here at Fredericksburg. So as the Pennsylvania Reserves made their attack earlier on the 13th, that attack is going to break, and the Pennsylvania reserves are going to start fleeing toward the rear. As Avery mentioned earlier, there's an exchange between George Meade and David Birney, where ultimately Birney decides he's going to send troops across the Rappahannock at the lower crossing over in this direction. And the 1st Brigade he's going to send across is under John Robinson, and leading that attack across the Rappahannock at about 1 o'clock that afternoon is the 114th Pennsylvania at the head of Robinson's brigade. And they're going to arrive here around in this vicinity on this property, and as they're coming across, George Meade actually takes note of the Zouaves, the colorful Zouaves arriving on the battlefield. Meade actually said they came up in good style, cheering as they passed me and calling out to my men to come back with them, that they were going in. So the 114th is starting to move across this property here. They're moving, you have Prospect Hill over in that direction, so they're moving to basically make a counterattack. You have the Pennsylvania reserves that are falling back. There's 2 federal batteries on this property that Confederates are very close to capturing just as the 114th Pennsylvania arrives here on the property. So as they're moving forward, however, they get their first taste of bloodshed. You know, you have these green troops in the ranks that are seeing, for example, a solid shot is going to hit the horse of General John Robinson, taking out the horse, and it's going to fall on top of Robinson. You have a bugler that's going to be taken out by shot and shell, as well as a few men. There's one man who is going to be decapitated by a shell as they're crossing across this property. And so that strikes fear into the hearts of these green troops that are coming across this land at the slaughter pen. And so this attack is going to falter for a second. These guys start to slow up and realize they're running into the face of this immense fire, at which point Charles Cullis is going to make a real bold move. And if you go to that visitor center at Fredericksburg battlefield, you're going to see a giant painting that's commissioned by Charles Cullis years after the American Civil War, depicting what he'd done here at the slaughter pen. Cullis is going to run up to the color bearer, and he grabs the standard, and he's going to encourage his men to keep pushing forth. If I remember right, he says, "Remember the stone wall at Middletown." What he's referring to is the stone wall at Middletown, Virginia, and the Shenandoah Valley campaign of 1862. At that point in the war, this Zouaves d'Afrique, this small company, is holding off a decent amount of Confederates that are approaching that stone wall at Middletown, and they held off these Confederates as the rear guard of the federal force in that area in May of '62. So Cullis yells these words of encouragement.
So hold up just for a second. So I'm imagining, so that is just that one small company. So like the rest of the regiment has no idea what he's talking about, or are they like?
The guys in Zouaves d'Afrique, the guys in Company A at least knew what he was talking about.
Okay, so the rest of them are like, hold up, like
what's he talking about?
What's he talking about?
So, in an effort to inspire confidence in his men, Cullis is going to grab these colors and start moving forward on horseback, as I said, depicted in that painting. And the regiment is going to move forward, and they check that Confederate advance, and they start pushing them back toward the tree line. And really, Cullis's Zouaves, the 114th Pennsylvania, are considerably going to take not that many casualties. There's in comparison to the Pennsylvania Reserves, at least. They're going to have 12 killed. In this general engagement at Fredericksburg, they're going to have 17 men captured, at least. The main group of 17 men is actually the regimental band. The regimental band was supposedly the best in the Army of the Potomac, and it was well known that they were the best band in the Army of the Potomac well until the end of the war. They had their own home-bought brass instruments. Those are going to be captured as well. That actually happens on the morning of December 16th. The band actually was sleeping not too far from the river, and that night of December 15th, the Federal Army is slipping back across the Rappahannock, and the band, not knowing that they had slipped across, are still sleeping. The next morning they wake up to Confederates with bayonets in their faces, and they're going to be sent out to Libby Prison shortly thereafter. The band is going to be exchanged not too long after, however, as I said, the first fire, the baptism of fire for the 114th PA. And I mentioned that they hadn't taken that many casualties here. However, they're going to make up for it in blood at Chancellorsville and Gettysburg less than a year after this engagement. And they're going to make a name for themselves there as well. But over the coming campaigns, the 114th Pennsylvania is going to be whittled away. By 1864, by the Petersburg campaign, they're primarily serving as a headquarters guard. But the 114th Pennsylvania, they have a vivandière. If you don't know what a vivandière is, it's basically someone supplying the men with food, comfort, setting up hospitals. And this person in particular, her name is Mary Tepp, or Marie Tepp. The men would call her French Mary. And French Mary actually would travel with a keg of whiskey. She also carried a .44 caliber pistol on her. Marie actually was an immigrant from France. She had come over to the States in the early 1850s. At the onset of the war, she actually joined her husband, was serving the 27th Pennsylvania out of the Philadelphia area. And so she followed him around on campaign. However, at some point, her husband and his friends had gotten drunk on campaign and stolen the equivalent to about $1,600 from her. At which point she's going to leave, and she returns to Philadelphia, where she meets Charles Collis, who explains that he's raising this 114th Pennsylvania, and she's going to join the regiment as their vivandière. And actually here in Fredericksburg, she's going to be back toward the rear for a time, setting up hospitals in the rear, and she is going to come up toward this position with the regiment. At some point, she's actually shot through the ankle, so she's wounded here in Fredericksburg. But as the war grinds on and she takes part in these other engagements, she has earned a very positive reputation with the men of the 114th. And as years after the war, this battle and this date held a very special place in the hearts of the men of the 114th Pennsylvania. In 1893, December 13th, 1893, the 114th, or the remaining men of the 114th, are going to meet in Philadelphia. They chose that date very specifically because that was their baptism of fire. And Marie Tepp is actually going to surprise the men there. She actually moves to Pittsburgh after the American Civil War. She had met a man actually during, they believe, the Petersburg campaign in 1964. His name was Richard Leonard. And she followed Leonard to Pittsburgh, where she settled down. Her post-war life is a little bit murky. Not a whole lot is known about her post-war life. But she eventually shows up at that reunion, reacquaints herself with the men of the 114th. And unfortunately, in 1901, she's going to pass away in Pittsburgh. She actually committed suicide by drinking a paint pigment called Paris green. After the war, her relationship with her husband that she met during the Petersburg campaign kind of deteriorated. Health problems and poverty really contributed to a sad end for Marie Tepp. But if you look up the history of the 114th Pennsylvania, she played a major role and really supported the men of the 114th on campaign as well. But this place, Fredericksburg, as I mentioned, really meant something to not just her, but the men of this regiment and Bernie's division.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rich. Do you have any other comments, thoughts?
On the 114th Pennsylvania? Well, as I mentioned, the 114th is from Philly. It's not really my territory, although nothing against Philly. I'm more of a Pittsburgh guy, obviously. But if anybody that is in the Pittsburgh area or visiting Western Pennsylvania, you can visit the grave of Marie Tepp, or French Mary, in Carrick, which is a little bit south of Pittsburgh. So there are many connections between Fredericksburg and Pennsylvania. This is just one of many, but it's always one that's really spoken to me. One of the men who is going to be here at the slaughter pen.
This is why I love Rich. He always brings a lot of cool stuff that I've never seen before.
Tell me if I'm getting up on the camera good enough. Can you see that?
A little bit closer.
A little bit closer?
Yep, that's good.
All right. So this man that I'm showing you a photograph of right now, his name is Frank H. Patrick. Patrick, a member of the regiment, eventually quartermaster, is going to be here at the battle, but he plays a very significant role in the post-war period. You know, we talked about you know, these guys having these reunions after the war, specifically in Philadelphia in 1893. Patrick is going to play a very significant role after the war in acquiring a proper memorial to their commander. Collis is going to die earlier on in the 20th century. So in 1906, Patrick, as well as other veterans of the 114th Pennsylvania, are all going to pitch in, and they actually acquire that, or raise that memorial or monument to Charles Collis in Gettysburg National Cemetery. Now, as we might know, if you've studied the past of the 114th Pennsylvania, Collis is not at Gettysburg. However, he does move to the Gettysburg area after the war, and he actually constructs a house there, which he calls or dubs Red Patch. Red Patch for the 3rd Division.
Okay.
Yep. And so Collis is going to spend the rest of his days in Gettysburg. Patrick, as I mentioned, and the other veterans of the Philadelphia area are going to go to Gettysburg in 1906 and erect that monument to Collis. And it really shows how it was a very tight-knit group after the engagement here at Fredericksburg.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Rich. And,
Thank you.
Thank you all out there for watching. And sorry about the wind. It is a windy, it's a beautiful day here in Fredericksburg, but we got a little bit of wind and there's not much cover out here. So thank you for bearing with us, and we'll see you in a few minutes for our next stream.
Thank you, guys.